It's Wednesday. That means it's DeFi day once again here at BNC. Let's take a look at some non-Dogecoin charts, non-ETH charts. DeFi has certainly been held collectively more range-bound than ETH, than some alts that aren't DeFi. DeFi had a bit of its own run in January. February remained sideways into February, March, April. Looks as though it may be setting itself up for another run again. Now, this isn't everything across DeFi. Certain things obviously are in price discovery, mega all-time high territory, but collectively, most things are sideways, I think. And looking at TVL continues to increase. This is just ETH chain. And if we exclude the duplicate ratio, if we include the duplicate ratio, it's still increasing. So this is what you want to see if you are deep into the DeFi ecosystem, coin-wise, investing-wise. You want to see TVL increasing. You want to see gas prices decreasing. You want to see layer 2 options increasing. You want to see continued protocol upgrades to support said gas decreases and layer 2 rollouts, Uni version 3, Synthetix, whatever it is. Continued progress is what you want to see. So this looks bullish to me. It's led by Maker Comp Uni. No surprise there. AAVE at actually at like 16 billion when you account for everything, not just V2. But anyway, it's all increasing up and to the right. That's what you want to see. Dominance continues its free fall. And yeah, I mean, the only thing reminiscent of this is 2017, right? And it took a year to figure itself out. So it's unlikely that BTC outperforms alts still, which is kind of crazy to think, especially with Doge. I mean, this is everything, right? This isn't just DeFi, but stablecoins, Doge, ETH, blah, blah, blah. Collectively, non-BTC things have done extremely well since February, and it's definitely in a free fall situation on dominance. So here's DeFi Perp, and this is kind of how most charts look. Again, they had their run up in January, February, went sideways through February, March, April, attempted a breakout late April, and just now are leading to bullish continuation. So on balance, everything looks like it's ready for another leg to me. It doesn't look like it's headed for a reversal. It doesn't look toppy, none of that stuff. And here's the Uniswap Perp. I believe it's the top 100 coins on Uniswap. And again, it's looking range bound but ready for bullish continuation. That's basically how almost every chart looks except SUSHI. SUSHI probably looks the most unlike everything else. Here's Link, all-time high price discovery. No surprise, just continues its upward march, extremely uncorrelated to everything else in DeFi, even though everything else is also pushing all-time highs. Just when you look at it anecdotally, day to day, you're like, okay, Maker's up today, Link is still 39, right? And then all of a sudden, everything DeFi's down and Link is 49, right? Doge is up, Link is up. It's weird, it's bizarre, but it's still DeFi, it's an oracle. Probably one of the easier trades you'll ever see. Honestly, it's bounced on the 200-day moving average basically every time it's had the opportunity since 2019. It continues to hold within this pitchfork. It's getting into overbought territory shortly here. Anything above, let's say 55 in the near term is going to hit overbought territory like it did twice before. So 55 to 85 should be the theoretical top within the next few months, unless this thing just explodes, right? I think explosion is unlikely, but a non-zero chance is definitely possible. Not to just say it's going up or down or hedging my bets here, but you can't just expect the trend to all of a sudden pick up pace when historically for the past 3 years, the top has been relatively close to the top of this diagonal. So I like 55 to 85 in the near term. Otherwise, you're just holding it and rebuying the median line, rebuying the 200-day moving average. Band, bullish continuation, likely all-time high, retests, continuation likely. I mean, it's all the same story for the most part relative to everything else. Cup and handle's playing out, another cup and handle's playing out. All the lows are getting bought ferociously. Hasn't even had a chance to fully mean revert, at least on a close. So I like bullish all-time high continuation there. Maker, really not much to say other than bullish continuation, all-time high price discovery, repricing. They've got a burning mechanic. They are leading, or one of the leaders in TVL. A lot of non-crypto people, I think, are waking up to Maker and any of the lending and borrowing apps, dApps, which is why really all of them should do quite well. Here's Uni, all-time high price discovery. Again, nothing really to say here. It's been in a bullish trend channel since February. Looks fine to me. Looks ready for more. Version 3 is coming up soon. Here's SUSHI, like I mentioned, looking the weakest of the bunch, down 40% from all-time highs. Now, it doesn't look bearish enough to cut as far as if I was trading this, which I am. I wouldn't cut this unless it broke lows, which at this point, sub 10, it's probably a cut. And I'd add anything above 18, 16 to 18. Any higher high here is worthy of an add, but it's definitely flirting with reversal based on the 12-hour cross. And what do I mean by I trade this? If we check out Enzyme.Finance, I am the portfolio manager for this DeFi portfolio that we have. Non-custodial portfolio management. You can see everything: AUM, allocation, performance, trades I make, who comes in, who comes out, when, blah, 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 everything you want to see, completely transparent here. So among all of these coins, all of which I'll talk about in the video, SUSHI is my biggest concern, especially with the allocation, what it is. It doesn't look terrible, and if you compare the fully diluted value to Uni, and you look at TVL versus Uni, there's some definite disparities there. This has a potential for a massive catch-up to Uni, but if Uni continues to roll out these protocol upgrades, SUSHI's there's just not going to be a party at SUSHI, right? They are different, but yet they are the same, and the market looks like it's trying to speak. Both tend to correlate pretty well, but trend-wise, SUSHI's looking to be like it's in some trouble shortly here. Moving on to Comp, all-time high price discovery, had its inverted head and shoulders situation break up. Looks good for more. Again, lending and borrowing, doing well. Balancer, all-time high price discovery, ascending triangle breaking up, hit its mean reversion target. No bearish divergence, looking fine for more. Balancer's more in the DEX category than AMM, I guess. DEX AMM categories than anything else. But it looks fine for more. BNT, similar to SNX, which I'll show in a second, but it hit its mean reversion target and it's back above the 12-hour cloud once again. So this looks like it's ready for more bullish continuation to me as well. This looks good. ZRX, range bound, pretty ugly looking chart up here at this price, but it doesn't look like it's not going to try for new all-time highs or bullish continuation to me. So I don't think it's a cut. If anything, it's an add percentage wise, as far as things that haven't moved like this versus Maker, right? If you're trying to make that decision, do I want to start rotating out of some stuff that is just mega mooning and into some stuff that is range bound? That's an example of that. 1 inch, another example of this, heavily range bound since February and nearing all-time highs once again. So this looks fine to me for bullish continuation. And this is what you want to see, right? This gives anybody who wants to get in plenty of opportunity, February to May, as far as leaving anybody behind. Now, this doesn't look like white coffee and accumulation necessarily, as far as what type of structure this is. I think it's just range bound, but it does look good for more bullish continuation. REN on the softer side of things, certainly, but it did hit its mean reversion target cleanly on the daily, the 200-day moving average. Historically, REN has been more of a slow mover compared to everything else. It had this mega multi-month inverted head and shoulders that broke up, a mega multi-month triangle that broke up, and it's looking like it's in another multi-month consolidation that will likely lead to bullish continuation. So I think this looks fine for up. I like the integer bias potential here in that it's around $1. For both good and bad reasons, it is unlike sort of anything else. It's a wrapper. So it wraps assets as far as the fundamentals are concerned, what it does. It's not an AMM or anything like that. But you do need dark nodes to form the dark pools, and those require 10,000 REN. So there's a bit of a supply sink there. Should this functionality continue to increase, which is certainly an expectation across all of DeFi. SNX, which sort of fits lending and borrowing, but sort of is its own thing, synthetic assets. Much like BNT, it hit its mean reversion, like Ren as well, and looks like it's ready for bullish continuation with the assumption that everything else stays bullish. SUSHI will be the first casualty, certainly, should this stuff start to roll over, should any of these range-bound bullish charts like Uni or 1 inch start to roll over. But for me, the expectation is just continuation here, definitely. AAVE kind of very similar to everything else, similar to SNX, similar to BNT, outperforming both in the near term, looks closer to the other lending and borrowing assets in that it's ready for an all-time high retest. Plus, looks fine to me for bullish continuation. No bearish divergences here either, so it looks fine for up there. Melon, not currently in the Enzyme DeFi portfolio, but I will likely be adding it shortly here. Looks like Balancer did before it broke out. Massive cup and handle here, with the handle being an ascending triangle. They are continuing to increase protocol improvements. They just released one today. And trend-wise, this has been pretty clean as far as retesting the 200 and bouncing and moving up from there. So I like where this sits. I like how it's consolidating. I like how it looks for bullish continuation along with everything else. Rune, another potential add for the DeFi portfolio. It's up, 1,500% since January, but the trend is really clean. I mean, that's the thing about this stuff. You know, you can hate on Link all you want, but you can't ignore how clean some of this stuff has been, despite being up the percentages that some of this stuff is up, right? Like, this to me looks fine for continuation, whereas Doge just looks like it's ready for a complete reversal because it's just way overbought. You know, that kind of FOMO euphoria isn't long lasting, but when there's charts like Link and Rune, it's had several support retests that have led to bullish continuation. It had one recently, just the other day, and now it's at all-time highs again. So this looks fine for bullish continuation, honestly. The trend is your friend until the end. There will be a day, probably into Q3, when all of this stuff fails its support tests and pulls back dramatically, breaks every level on the way down, and you get some weird-looking 50% drawdown, right? But I don't think we're close to that day just yet. Matic, similar to Maker, just absolute moon repricing at all-time highs. This stuff is less sustainable, certainly, especially if there's not fundamentals perhaps to back it up. You know, would I trust Maker over this? Yeah, because Maker to me is like the pillar of the whole ecosystem, at least one of the pillars of the ecosystem, whereas Matic is more of a newer coin with not as clear of a foothold in the market entirely. So that's all there for this one. Let me know what I'm missing here. I did look over a few other DeFi charts that I just didn't include in the video. Rory, Alpha, I mean, some of these charts are just, you know, down, bearish trend. So it's pretty clear to me, unless you're accumulating for longer term, that stuff like that just won't have as good of a payoff in the near term, opposed to some of this other stuff that is pushing all-time highs. I mean, that's just trading 101, right? You're either buying the lows hoping for reversal eventually, or you're on the side of momentum and trend on stuff like Uni, Maker, Comp, all the stuff that's pushing all-time highs that I was talking about. Like, dislike, comment, share, subscribe, and happy trading.